Aloha. I wanted to make this a quick video and kind of round up the the ideas that I was bringing about as far as the perspectives of this society, this the national societies, the international societies, and the atmosphere of the society is what I'm really referring to. But the society, the community society, and kind of bring it together to realize that the system itself, on the idea of the national scale and the international scale, it's a business. It's a corporation. It has zero interest in the health and well-being of the individual, of the community. It only means to protect itself. It's a corporate entity that has zero relationship to human nature, especially when you understand that it's based upon the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex, the colonial system, the enslavement of not only the actual physical bodies of the people who challenge the system, but the psychological enslavement that is manipulated to destroy your history, destroy your essence of the moment, and destroy your maximum potential of creating or being involved in the creation of the future. It means to gift wrap every perspective of your reality and sell it to you at a high interest rate, and then make you think that you have to, like you're in debt to the system, when in fact the system has been feeding itself off the blood of your ancestors since its formation. It's based upon normalizing the individual and the collective, which is at the expense of destroying nature. You can see when the rainforests are destroyed, people are being bombed. You have weather modification. You have the transhumanism agenda. You have the globe model. You have all of these systems, the war on terror, the war on drugs, the war on information, that really is how you get psychologically manipulated into just being dumbed down on every level. But the side effects are what happens to our community. And on the community level, like I said, for an individual who joins the military, when you sign that contract, you're going into that with the highest, largely you're going into that with the highest intent to serve your country at the expense of, a lot of the times, your own life. And that's one of the highest things that you can do. And we can see how the system repays that gift that happens when you see the how they treat veterans, how they treat soldiers while you're in active duty, and how the system is utilizing that to maintain power, the illusion of power for the few at the expense of the many, on every level, down to your very genetics. When you see that there is no separation from Monsanto and Bayer and all these other corporations who are heavily tied into the government and the system as a whole, and the destruction overall of the human design, the beauty of the human design. They've turned the natural harmonics of realizing the sun, the moon, nature, the spirits, the elemental spirits, the stars, the oceans, all that was deemed primitive and savage by the Columbian era, by the colonial program, is what connects us with nature. And you can see on every level we have been separated from nature. And this is why the NASA program and the university system is so focused on the idea of the galaxy and the stars and the cosmos and the Big Bang and the evolution theory and gravity and all this stuff, because it needs to extend that separation from that which grounds you and roots you in that which is natural, which naturally removes the so-called power, the illusory power, from the so-called powers that be. This is why there's such a focus on the stars and going to Mars and the illusion of going to the moon and the illusion of going to Mars and the illusion of satellites and doing all these pictures and all this stuff and CGI images. It's all a big Hollywood reel. This is what the alchemy of the Hollywood system is about. And what triggered this video right now, and I wanted to keep this one short, is I just watched a Trey Gowdy, that guy referencing, I don't know if he's like some part of the government or something, FBI director or something like that, or he's something up there like that. But he was referencing immigration and all this shit, and I'm just looking at it like, what are you talking about, man? Like this, you understand even more so, these people, when they speak to you, you can see more so how they have no foundation, they have no roots, there's no realness to them. But one of the things that he said that really kind of was just like, all right, I got to say something about this, because this is at the essence of everything that is part of this control grid. What he said is that for a true democracy, ... and I was like, wait a second. This is what they're really holding on to. Like the highlighted edition of the system is the Constitution, the forefathers, Christopher Columbus, this idea of true democracy. Like, this is the only true democracy in the world. So we have to go and spread democracy to other countries who don't have democracy. This is not a democracy. It's not a true democracy. This is a systematic takeover of the people of the earth plane, period. On every level, on your soul, mind, and body level, this is a systematic takeover through illusions, through alchemy, through force. The system is designed to protect itself through every perspective. This includes you paying your energy, and this is actually the biggest focus of this design, is you have to believe, you have to love this system. This is why they Christmas the fuck out of everything. Everywhere you go, Christmas, everything. Thanksgiving, everything. Halloween, everything. 4th of July, everything. Easter, everything. The system has to convince you. And they got their lackeys, their celebrities telling you what to focus on, like Kanye West telling you about the Illuminati and Jay-Z and Beyonce and all that shit. Because they have to make you believe in the system. And that actually makes you believe that the system is, it creates an illusory velocity of change. Just like the presidents create an illusory velocity of change over time, and they sell you the next 4 years, just like NASA sells you the next 20 years. The university sells you the rest of your life when you supposedly get a degree. High school sells you your foundation for the university, and the list goes on and on and on. And you as the parents tell your kids to do, you better do good in elementary school, because you got to get smart, you got to be good in high school, you got to be good in university so you can get that degree, and then so on and so forth. It's actually the people who believe in the illusion that's on every level that make this thing happen. And when we believe, our belief systems actually make this stuff real. And it goes to the extremes of the military industrial complex and the prison industrial complex, and not knowing your history, and now having these individuals talk about immigration. Never from what? From what foundation are you talking about immigration when this entire nation is now filled with so-called immigrants, largely invaders? When you really go to the roots of the system, Native America was invaded and installed the idea of the Constitution, the forefathers, and all this other shit. That's the foundation of this design. And it's been that way ever since. And the idea of your first black president is just in your face to make you not question the reality, the change, the evolution of the system, not question its origins, not question the fact that it has zero regard for your well-being as a community, as an individual, and as a collective. And it only means to protect itself. This whole program, this corporation, the colonization corporation, the invasion of the entire earth plane, is designed to protect itself. No different than the white supremacy program and the white genetic annihilation means to protect itself. If this is your first video hearing that, then I would ask you to research Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and really listen to her research on white genetic annihilation and the white supremacy agenda as a whole and what it's evolved to, and at the expense of who and what, because that is at the essence of nature as a whole. The enslavement of people, the genocide of people, the massacre of people. And when I mention enslavement, I'm not just talking about slavery. I'm talking about mental slavery, psychological slavery, physical slavery. And slavery doesn't only include actual enslavement and having slaves for people who want to defend and say, oh, well, the Irish were enslaved and white people were the first slaves and all this other stuff. What I'm talking about is the slave mentality, which is actually balled up with genocide and massacres. And the colonization of Africa, the Aboriginal, Australians, the Polynesian people, the death and destruction that is a business of today. There is no difference. This system means to protect itself. This is no true democracy. There is no true democracy. This entire system needs to be removed. And it can only be actually removed if the consciousness of the people expands to create a new form of interacting and generating a relationship with each other based upon the basic human needs and resources that are available to us. Take all of the complexities out of this, the economic system, the fiat currency system, the maritime admiralty system, these pirates, these criminals, all of this shit that they tell us is for us. It's garbage. It's bullshit. The entire system. The president protects the corporations. The corporations protect the president. The media protects the president, the government. The government protects the media. The list goes on and on and on. They tell you a story. It's a real life movie. It's a movie. Everything. These are actors. George Bush, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Kanye West, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Rudy Giuliani, the Young Turks, Alex Jones, David Icke, Corey Goode, David Wilcock, Ancient Aliens, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, Michio Kaku, Ray Kurzweil, TED Talks, every single thing, Joe Rogan, all these motherfuckers are actors in the movie entitled Human Limitation and Control, the enslavement program of the colonial agenda. This is how far this program goes. It has zero interest in you. Like I said, it protects itself. This is the actual design. This story is a good example of the design itself. Judge blocks Obama rule extending overtime pay to 4.2 million U.S. workers. So you say, oh, well, at least he's trying. He's just trying. And the system just keeps beating it down. And this is how it plays. So if Congress brings something, then Obama will just shoot it down. And they play it on you. And stuff like this makes you believe in him. And then stuff like other stories makes you believe in them. And then it forever plays back and forth. They just kick the ball back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Meanwhile, you just keep watching the movie believing it's real, completely disconnected from your ancestors, completely disconnected from the true harmonics of the natural design. And the only way you can believe in the illusion is if you're completely uprooted from that which is natural, which is where the globe model comes in, the technology comes in from separating you from your family, from separating you from your true essence, the transhumanism agenda, the artificial idea of evolution, the dinosaur illusion, the gravity illusion, the relativity, the Big Bang. All this shit is invented by the control system itself, the colonial university system, the post-Columbian era system, built on death and destruction, limitation and control, and the manipulation of your every moment, your past, your present, and your future. It's the essence of the education system. It's the essence of the university system. It's the essence of the NASA program and so on and so forth, the government as a whole. In order for you to believe in the system at all, it needs to build itself up. This is why Trump was out there being so big and bad and all this other stuff, and now you see him backing up and being presidential and trying to be presidential and talk about all this shit, and then he has all these other people around him that make him look good. Then you have to watch the story play out for the next 4 years, and it's like a contract of enslavement. You vote for your own enslavement. So when you vote, you're actually signing a contract for slavery for the next 4 to 8 years with that slave master. Same thing goes for the politics of the system on your community level. It's no different. When you disconnect yourself from that which is natural, then you're just floating in nothingness. You've been taken over by the nothing, like in the Neverending story. It really is the never-ending story. It's the nothing is taking over everything. It's just drying everything up and taking the life force energy out of everything, and making everything the same, which is when everything is the same, then you're nothing. This is the essence of the gay agenda and the transhumanism agenda, the monkey evolution agenda. That's the essence of that. There's a divinity to the diversity of the plants and the animals, and the differences between various races or cultures of the human design. There's a purpose there. There's a meaning there. There's a music. It's a harmonic that if we just water it all down and say, oh, we're just all one, like the New Age agenda, we're just all human. Yeah, that's right in one perspective, but at what expense? At the expense of not realizing the essence of your ancestors and the balances and the harmonics of the divine diversity. So if you don't understand that and you just water it down with like a mayonnaise sandwich version of understanding your reality, It's the same thing that happens in Love and Light. It's not all about love and light. It's about the balances of light and dark. You have to understand the balances of light and dark. If you just stick to the positive polarization of love and light, then you're only going to at best realize half of your reality, and you'll be completely out of balance, which is just another separation program, and no different than the completely destructive individual who just wants to go to war with the rest of the world, or who just wants to control the rest of the world, who just wants to worship themselves. It's no different. It's just the other side of a coin that is or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It's not as simple as it's made to be by groups like the New Age community or the Newism agenda. And like I said, that's the essence of the next control grid. This is why Oprah is teaming up with Eckhart Tolle and starting Super Soul Sunday and all this other shit. And they're moving from destruction, death, war, and destruction to... This is why you have Leonardo DiCaprio as the messenger of peace. They have to make it trendy, hip, for you to pay attention to. They have to make politics interesting. They have to make your enslavement popular. So they put Leonardo DiCaprio in the United Nations. They put Hermione Granger in the United Nations. They give him an Oscar at the same time to get more eyeballs on him. They give him a documentary on National Geographic. They have him team up with the Pope and Barack Obama and all these other presidents. They put Donald Trump in the White House against the possible first woman president after the first so-called black president. Have him team up with actors like Alex Jones. Have Alex Jones fight systems like TYT. And have TYT team up with people like Bernie Sanders. And have Joe Rogan fight with people like the Flat Earth community. It's all a big movie. It's a big show. And what gets lost in the sauce is the essence of the information. And the essence of the realization that the system itself has zero concern for the people as a whole, and the origins of where all this stuff started. You get caught up in the movie and don't realize who's behind the camera, who built that theater, that trapped you in that theater, and what does that theater mean to do for the future of you. What has it been doing for the generations? So on and so forth. So this, and they got to tell you these fairy tales like this is the only true democracy, and for only for a true democracy to work, you have to do such and such and such and such. And it makes it interesting that now that a Donald Trump is in there, and when you're interested, that's like a movie. You're not going to watch a movie if you're not interested. It makes you shut up too. You just get your popcorn and your soda and your Milk Duds and your whatever it is, Twizzlers. You sit down and shut your mouth and watch the movie because you don't want to have people going, shh, hey, be quiet. You're interrupting the movie. It's a total design. So that's basically what I wanted to put with this video right now. I didn't really go into what I mentioned as far as like taking it back to the community. So I'll mention it quickly. I mentioned it in the video before. I can't remember the name of the video. That was like 3 videos ago where I was talking about bringing it back to the community and creating some kind of system that is totally people focused, where you can still utilize technology at its basic scale, like the Excel spreadsheet, to keep a log and create like a secret password for each individual, and then that secret password can get written down on a piece of paper somewhere and have people confirm that, and then that's your actual vote. That's how you engage. That's how I am understanding the idea of a true democracy, if you want to engage in something like that. Not saying that it's the only thing that should exist, because people are wanting to live in nature and just want to have like their resources provided or available or in some kind of way. But for the people who are, there's some kind of transition that needs to happen, or needs to be developed, to help the people who are trapped in the mentality and the frame of mind of the city environment, the world itself. That creating a system of a level of consciousness that is higher than the level of consciousness that created the enslavement system is one way to help people not be so shocked when this system the old system expands more control over the individual, and it also makes it more obvious that the system is just jacked up. It has no concern for you. So creating different kinds of systems and basically having it focus on time itself, like taking your time back and redesigning your relationship with time itself, because that's the essence of the control grid. They maintain their power, so-called power over you, and the enslavement agenda over you, the masses, through every layer of your soul, your mind, and your body. When you understand the religious programs, the connection to money, the university system, the connection to religion, and being based on atheism, the mind control program of the university system, the public education system, the body control program of the genetically modified foods, the fluoridated water, the destroying of nature, the destroying of the animals, the destroying of the oceans, the destroying of your relationships to all of those systems, and your separation from that system. Every single layer is based upon destroying those relationships. And until we realize the depths of how that system is designed at our expense, we won't be able to break these chains. And with each questioning of your reality, with each system that you break by removing your belief in it, by removing your energy being paid into it, including all this Christmas shit and Black Friday and all this shit, disengaging from that and reconnecting with the obvious stuff, like what's happening at Standing Rock. This is just, it's just obvious when you start to see what's happening at Standing Rock, especially right now. They're protesting. If you're in the Bay Area and you listen to this, if you're in Oakland, go down to Emery Bay, Shell Mound at Emery Bay on Black Friday and stand with the Ohlone people, because they will be there. They've been there every year since the Bay Street Mall was there. So Bay Street Mall on Black Friday, and go stand and protest with them. I'm not in the area, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But if you're in the area, please go down there and support them if you can, because they'll be there. So the Ohlone people that are protesting the Bay Street that's built on top of ancient burial grounds in Oakland, in Emeryville, and all over the Bay Area actually, but one of the main ones is Bay Street in Emeryville. The Ohlone people will be there. And there's a lot of other programs that the Ohlone people are there. Like there's another apartment building that's being built, or some kind of condos that are being built in the Berkeley Marina on top of ancient burial grounds. And the Ohlone people are protesting that at the same time. So wherever you are, if you feel guided, even just to show up and show support, it really does help the people to do stuff like that. So this is one way you can get engaged, and there's so many other ways, and I don't even know. People are reconnecting and thinking of this stuff as we go. And at the same time that as the system implodes, we have to create equally. If we realize, which is mainly, it's really obvious that the system is imploding, then you have to realize that you have a responsibility to create as equal to the velocity of the system that's imploding. Otherwise, you'll be caught off guard or in shock or something like that. So, yeah. Once we get our time back and realize that the idea of the 4 years of a president, that's dead time. It's dead space. Barack Obama being put in as the president after Bush was a distraction program to shut people up, to expand the system underneath a charismatic robot, and steal 8 years of actual progress from the ground up and have people waiting forever. The entertainment distraction that Donald Trump is another program. Whether they leave him in there or not, it'll still be an entertainment value. They can just as easily take him out and install something else. It'll still be entertainment because it'll be from a deeper destructive entertainment like they did with JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. You feel helpless about this system because of what this system can do, which is another reason why we have to empower ourselves to generate other forms of providing for ourselves on the community level, and then have those communities work together from the people up, from the ground up, completely cutting the legs out of the government system and all that other stuff, because it has never had any interest in you. It has only maintained its interest in you through profit. When you understand the Social Security program, the legal name agenda with your corporate birth certificate, your slave certificate, and your capital name and all that other garbage that's part of your straw man. These are pirates, criminals who have taken over with illusion. Pirates, they're like magical pirates, like magicians, pirate magicians. And they sell it however we'll buy it. Whatever they can sell, they'll put a commercial on it, a fancy jingle, and have you buying stuff you don't even need. Just listen to this commercial. Come on down. Make sure you get out and get your butterball turkey. Celebrate the enslavement, genocide, and massacre of the Native Americans. Get your turkey, get your stuffing. Taking the essence of it. So as I'm referencing like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and all these other things that exist, we have to simultaneously, which I'm glad I remembered before I want to close this video out, we have to start celebrating real holidays, like real things that matter to the natural design. Real things throughout the year. That's another way. So as people are not celebrating Columbus Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas, Easter, you have to start to realize, you have to reconnect with that which is natural. The natural time frequencies, because these are timings. This is a timing program. It's not the destructive intelligence that's manipulated. This enslavement program is very smart, and they know how to work with time. This is how you can, it's not necessarily like time travel like they put on television, like Quantum Leap and Back to the Future and all that. It's stealing time through the consciousness of the people, of the consciousness of the present moment. Psychologically installing ideas like the university system, NASA, the globe model, and so on and so forth. That's how you can steal time. That's how you travel to the future. Star Trek and Hollywood making a movie telling you that, oh, the first Star Trek Enterprise will be in 2116 or something like that. And then you believe it. So like 100 years from now, we're going to be able to travel the stars in like Star Trek? Oh, I can't wait for that. Stealing a generation with Hollywood. Stealing 4 years with the government. And stealing entire generations upon generations. Entire collectives with the way the system interacts itself. So yeah, I'll close it out with, all right, if you understand that Thanksgiving is full of shit, and then you say, oh well, we're just celebrating having thanks for this and that. Switch it then. Switch the time code. It needs to be moved. The energy, the vibration needs to be moved. It needs to be switched. And then the focus of that energy needs to be tuned in to something real, to something natural. And if we do it individually, it'll start to catch on collectively, and then that will start to remove the system as a whole. And also, we have to not engage in the whole manipulated program of Christmasing the shit out of everything everywhere you go. It's everywhere. Put a different kind of lights up on different days or something that represent like peace and love and harmony and all kinds of other things on different. Make our own holidays. That's the main thing. Stop celebrating the illusions of slave masters. Until that happens, we'll still be paying into the system. So it's a transition. We're getting there. We're doing it as we go along, piecing it together and seeing how important this stuff is. But once we start focusing on reconnecting with your ancestors, reconnecting with how far the system goes, it'll make it even more obvious that this system has zero intentions on being natural at all. And it'll also allow us to reconnect with our ancestors that have already made those connections. Like this image talks about the scarab, which is pretty much like the Egyptian cross, pretty much. And the Ankh itself represents like the balances of the Trinity, the divine feminine, the masculine, the earth plane, the sun, the moon, the electric and magnetic frequencies, the life frequency. But it's more complex. Our life is more complex than a big bang, dinosaurs, monkeys, humans, iPhone. It's more complex than that bullshit. They're selling some microwave versions of your reality. We are more complex than that. If you believe that, then you'll believe in some bullshit like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Columbus Day. You'll only believe in a microwave reality if you believe that the origins of who and what you are come from a microwave, from a TV dinner. And that's what the university system, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all this shit is based upon. But there's balances on every level. And we can start focusing on regeneration and creation and transformation and renewal. Terms like that are like alien to this system, because that's true growth, true understanding, true connection. So, anyway, thank you for joining me, and from all my relations, until next time, peace, love, and harmony.